Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And it's really come to this, huh? It's really come to this. 10 countries warning their citizens not to visit the United States. I don't know if I should do the Home Alone shocker face, since the other day I got a comment with someone saying, "Oh, what they say, like the surprised look is getting old or something." I don't know what people be talking about. I honestly don't know what people be talking about and why they criticize so hard, but it is what it is. I'm not happy about a lot of things going on in the world today. I'm not sure how I should, like I said, I don't know if want me to, the Home Alone face. I don't know. But with that being said, we're smoking all my dragons. Divine righteous, almighty, great, overachieving, never slacking. And we're going to fly over to Europe. And this is posted by Global Village. And we're just gonna see what this is about. I was just having a really good conversation with one of my clients about London and the UK, and seeing videos like this is eh, hold on, we'll see. Let's dive into it. Here we go.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something wild. 10 countries that are straight up telling their people, hey, maybe skip the US for now. Crazy, right? We're talking travel warnings, border dramas, and some serious global shade. Why are these nations hitting the brakes on US trips? Stick around as we break it all down country by country. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and let's get into it. First up, the United Kingdom. The UK's Foreign Office updated its travel advice for the US in March 2025, warning Brits about strict entry rules. They're telling travelers to double-check visa or ESTA requirements because even valid documents might not guarantee entry. Why? Reports of British citizens detained at US borders for minor visa issues, like overstays or unclear travel purposes, have spiked since Trump's immigration crackdown kicked in. The advisory doesn't call it a ban, but it's clear. Follow the rules or risk arrest. The UK sends about 4 million tourists to the US yearly, so this could dent that number. Some Brits are even canceling trips, fearing a hostile welcome. The tension might tie back to Trump's comments on European trade too, calling out the
Well, I could say this: if you're a Brit and I see you, you'll get more of a loving a loving welcome than I would probably the average person, just because I got so much love for that side. But yeah, I mean, I want to say there's nothing to fear, but I don't know if that would be the truth as far as just traveling and the requirements, and being it just going through so much more could, it could mess up people's plans. So I don't want to paint a perfect picture, or else I would just be lying at that point. And all I can say is just make sure you're ahead of the game when you're traveling. Make sure everything's situated to the fullest extent. And but other than that, as far as the welcoming, I'd hope too many Americans wouldn't be judgmental. I don't think so. I know there's a lot of good people that'll really be welcoming to people in the UK at these times.
EU hasn't helped. For now, the UK's message is caution. Enjoy your trip, but have your paperwork in order, or you might be on the next flight home. Next, Germany. The German Federal Foreign Office updated its U.S. travel advice this month, stressing that a visa or ESTA doesn't mean you're in the clear. They've warned that U.S. officials can deny entry at their discretion, no appeal allowed. This comes after
Damn.
several German nationals were detained at U.S. borders in early 2025, some for past minor overstays or vague travel plans. Germany's not calling it a travel ban, but the tone's serious. Expect scrutiny. About 2 million Germans visit the U.S. annually, and this could shake that up. The advisory also hints at broader unease. Trump's hardline policies, like his two-gender stance, clash with Germany's progressive values, especially for trans travelers. Add in trade spats, and it's a perfect storm. Germans are being told to prepare for tough questioning and possible rejection. Travel's still on, but it's not the carefree trip it once was. Number 3 is Canada, our neighbors to the north. Recently, Canada updated its U.S. travel advisory, urging citizens to register with U.S. authorities if staying over 30 days. This follows a Vancouver woman's week-long detention at the border over a visa mix-up. Canadian MP Charlie Angus even went viral, pleading, avoid the U.S. if possible, calling it a tyranny under Trump. The advisory is practical. Follow entry rules or face.
Oh man, this is all right. I don't know what goes on the higher up you get in the government, but I just hope when it's all said and done, everything that's happening. I don't even hope. I know no matter what, everything that's happening right now is going to lead to something great spiraling. I know it sounds crazy. I know you're, oh no. I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm the type of person I'ma always say and I'ma always choose um the will of the people and the righteous people winning over anything that may be destructive to the growth of humanity. Like pretty much I'm saying good over evil. That when it's all said and done, whatever evil agenda may be at play that, us average humans may not know. Whether you liberal, conservative, this, that, the third. Whatever goes on at the top, whatever going on with Elon and these tech billion, whatever's going on that we may not know, I'ma always say we gonna come out on top. The people with the big hearts, no matter what, no matter how the world changes, no matter what it is we gotta go through right now, no matter how ugly it gets, we gonna come out on top. And if you don't agree with that message, then I would say you need to check your faith, whatever it is you believe in, because your faith ain't strong enough at that point.
Practical. Follow entry rules or face deportation, but the rhetoric's heated. Canada's worried about Trump's threats to annex them as the 51st state, plus border crackdowns hitting dual citizens hard. With millions crossing yearly, this could chill travel. Some Canadians are boycotting U.S. trips over politics, too. It's not a full warning yet, but the vibe's clear. The U.S. isn't as welcoming as it was, and Ottawa wants its people ready for a rougher ride south of the border. Coming in at 4, Denmark. This Scandinavian country revised its U.S. travel advisory with a twist. It's specifically warning transgender travelers. Why? The Trump administration's two-gender policy means passports with an X marker might get you turned away. Denmark's telling its citizens to contact the U.S. Embassy first if they're trans or non-binary.
I feel like on that one, everybody has their different things going on, but I'm not mad at the Trump administration for that one as far as just um the two gender. I mean, just if you a male, just whatever. Like that shouldn't be too crazy. Um, they shouldn't be. I know people out there they go hard over being trans or so much terms I've heard, but when it's all said and done, what you are, what you really are, um, just male or female. I mean, that shouldn't be too much of a crazy one. That shouldn't affect you that much. It's just a card. When it's all said and done, it's just a card. It's just a passport. It's just like
Beyond that, they're echoing others. Valid visas don't guarantee entry, and enforcement's tight. Denmark's progressive stance clashes with U.S. shifts, and this advisory reflects that tension. It's not a blanket don't go, but it's a red flag for a specific group. Danish tourists, about 300,000 yearly, might rethink plans, especially with horror stories of border detentions circulating. Add Trump's EU critiques and Denmark's caution makes sense. Travel's doable, but for some, it's a risk not worth taking right now. Fifth on our list is Finland. Like Denmark, Finland updated its U.S. travel advisory in March 2025, zeroing in on transgender and non-binary travelers. With Trump's policy recognizing only male or female genders, Finnish passports with X markers could lead to entry denials. The advice: check with the U.S. Embassy before booking. Finland's also warning about stricter border checks. Visas or ESTA approvals aren't sure thing anymore. This follows reports of Europeans, including Finns, facing unexpected detentions. Finland's small but steady flow of U.S. tourists, around 200,000 yearly, might dip if this sticks. The advisory's not a full stop, but it's a heads up. The U.S. feels less predictable now. Tensions over Trump's EU stance and Finland's inclusive values add context. For Finns, it's about weighing the hassle against the trip. Caution's the name of the game.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never.
oh man. So And I know the tariffs just really started, so I know people are kind of, yeah, people are tripping about that for sure. I walked past, and seen the news on uh, today, and yeah, that's what they was talking about. Pretty heavy is them tariffs. That's what people are concerned about. So, and then amongst many other things like you know, right here, people worried about traveling to the U.S. I'm very curious how this is going to affect the U.S. economy too, with so much tourists. If those numbers get knocked down by by a lot, I'm curious how that'll affect a lot of things in America when people don't want to come to America. We'll see. Guess we'll have to sit back and see.
The French government hasn't issued values add context. For Finns, it's about weighing the hassle against the trip, cautions the name of the game. At number 6, France. The French government hasn't issued a formal U.S. travel warning yet, but they updated guidance, urging citizens to be vigilant about entry rules. France is watching the trend. Detentions of Europeans at U.S. borders are up, and they're not taking chances. The advisory flags that even valid visas might not cut it if U.S. officials suspect anything off. France sends over 1 million tourists to the U.S. yearly, so this matters. Some link it to Trump's EU trade jabs. France isn't thrilled with his screw the EU vibe. Plus, there's chatter about safety for LGBTQ plus travelers after U.S. policy shifts.
But I gotta be honest, like, as far as the everyday people, like, I get it with the government, the Trump administration, the everyday people that I talk to, they're not on those screw the EU at all. Like, not the people I talk to. They not the people I know. They're not on those screw. No, not the regular people, not the working class people that I talk to. So, but who knows? Maybe it won't be as bad as we think. I guess we'll just have to see because I know millennials, as myself, we like to travel regardless and we like to take risks. 2020 millennials were still out there moving around, so we'll see. We'll see how much of those million people in France or millions of people over here, how much of those are millennials, how much of those are what is it, Gen X or Gen Zers or Xers that just don't really care and they're like, what, I'm traveling regardless. So I guess we'll just have to sit back and see how those numbers really play out. If people really fall back or just like, nah, I'm going to the U.S.
It's not a don't go yet, but the tone's shifting. Travel blogs say French tourists are nervous about feeling unwelcome. For now, France says go, but go prepared. The U.S. isn't the open door it once was for less blues. 7th, New Zealand. New Zealand updated its U.S. travel advice, warning Kiwis that entry's no sure thing, even with an ESTA. The advisory cites tougher border enforcement, with risks of detention for minor slip-ups like overstays. This follows a few high-profile cases of New Zealanders turned back at U.S. airports. About 300,000 Kiwis visit the U.S. yearly, and this could slow that down. New Zealand's government isn't saying don't go, but they're blunt. U.S. officials have final say, no exceptions. Some tie this to Trump's global trade rhetoric. New Zealand's an ally, but not immune to tension. Social media is buzzing with Kiwis debating if it's worth the risk. Safety's not the issue, it's the unpredictability. New Zealand's message is clear: love the U.S., but pack patience and perfect paperwork, or you might be watching the Statue of Liberty from a deportation lounge. Number 8 is Australia. Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs raised its U.S. travel advice, warning Aussies to expect rigorous border checks. Even with an ESTA or visa, entry's not guaranteed. U.S. officials can deny you for past overstays or unclear intentions. This comes after reports of Australians detained stateside, some for minor visa hiccups. Around 1.5 million Aussies visit the U.S. yearly, so this hits home. The advisory's not a ban, but it's a wake-up call. Trump's immigration push means business. Some Aussies are souring on U.S. trips, citing trade spats and a closed-off vibe. Safety's fine, but the hassle? Less appealing. Australia's still pro-travel, urging prep over panic, check rules, dot I's, cross T's. For now, it's about navigating a stricter system, not avoiding it. The U.S. remains a draw, but the welcome mats got some new fine print. 9th, Ireland. Ireland's Department of Foreign Affairs updated its U.S. travel advice, cautioning citizens about tighter entry rules. They're warning that even valid visas or ESTAs might not get you past U.S. customs if something's off, like a passed over stay. This follows tales of Irish travelers detained at borders, sparking headlines back home. Ireland sends about 700,000 tourists to the U.S. yearly, many tied to family ties, so this stings. The advisory's not a don't go, but a be ready. U.S. enforcement's no joke under Trump. Some Irish see it as fallout from his EU critiques, others just want a smooth J one summer. No major safety flags, just procedural headaches. Ireland's keeping it practical, know the rules, or risk a U-turn. The U.S. is still a draw, but the charm's dimming if you're stuck explaining yourself at JFK. Caution's key here. Finally, the Netherlands, the Dutch government tweaked its U.S. travel advice, warning citizens that entry's trickier now. Even with an ESTA or visa, U.S. officials can say no. Passed overstays or vague plans could land you in detention. This follows a few Dutch travelers getting bounced at the border, raising eyebrows. The Netherlands sends about 800,000 tourists to the U.S. yearly, and this might cool that off. The advisory's not a ban, just a heads up. Trump's policies mean stricter scrutiny. Some Dutch tie it to his EU trade barbs. Relations are chillier. Others worry about progressive travelers, like trans folks, facing hassles after the two-gender rule. Safety's not the issue. Unpredictability is. The Dutch say go, but go smart. Check everything twice. The U.S. is still on the map, but it's less of a carefree jaunt for Netherlanders now. That's it. 10 countries waving red flags about U.S. travel in March 2025. From border hassles to policy clashes, it's a wild shift. What do you think? Fair warnings or overreaction? Drop your take below. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and share with your travel squad. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Safe travels wherever you're going.
I think it's a little bit of both of fair play and some just panicking, exaggerating a little bit. But at the same time, Trump got a lot of people scared. Um, and when I read different things, like I've seen people in the UK say things like, "We need Trump," "We need Trump over here because of the immigration." I've reacted to a video of Conor McGregor, UFC star, him saying, how he pretty much is inspired. He said he's inspired by Trump. He gave a whole speech by it, and how he feels like in Ireland the culture is at risk of becoming pretty much extinct, which I just I don't think I personally can't see that happening. I feel like the Irish have been through so much that I just don't feel like their culture could ever truly be wiped out. Personally, that's how I personally feel. But I get what he's saying as far as like he feels like nothing's nothing's the same. Everything's being taken over, and I can understand that. When I go to my hometown and it's like, damn, it's not even the same place anymore. Literally, literally not the same place. Like it's been bought out, took over. I mean, places where I used to eat at, Friendlies, grew up eating at, is now a burn dairy. Don't been knocked down. The Pizza Hut across the street where everybody used to eat at been knocked down. So it's like doesn't even. It's just everything's taken over. So I can get where he's coming from. I can get where he's coming from. So there is a lot of you got to keep that in mind. There is a lot of people in these European countries that actually are in support of Trump in the Trump administration and feel like they wish that they had that in their country. So that's why I do my best to not turn this into a America versus the Europe. Like come on, like Europe's one place I can't wait to travel. I can't wait to travel across the world, but maybe it's getting harder right now because times are gonna get easier. It's like when you take a ball and you take that ball and you bounce it as hard as you can on the ground. Guess what? The harder it hits the ground, the harder it hits the bottom, the higher it rises. And I just believe as a collective, that's just something we're going through right now, which is why I said keep that faith strong, no matter how it looks, and realize no matter what, the righteous will end up on top and things will work out for the better. It's just we got to go through some things. That's all. It just is what it is. So, but as far as like I said, I see people that are in support that feel like they wish they had Trump in Europe. He's tightening up on a lot of things. Trump feels like America's just weak, and it's time to have a backbone. That's not me saying I agree with everything he's saying, and that's not me saying I disagree with everything he's saying at either. But as far as travel, I mean, what are we really going to be super angry and spaz out over, someone wanting two genders and, and like, so whether your visa, whatever, just get that. I mean, it's just, I don't feel like that's a big problem. I don't, not on that end. I don't, every country has their rules and regulations, right? So I don't feel like that's a reason to have a hate campaign, against the U.S. or feel like, oh, watch out in the U.S. You gotta watch out everywhere. But yeah, I mean, there is a lot of nutty people. I get it, but I just don't think, at least right now, it's as bad as some people are painting it out to be. I do think there's a lot of people that are exaggerating a lot of things. Some people are exaggerating things for their own agenda. And that's just the truth. But with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? For y'all that like to travel, is this stopping you? is Trump's the Trump administration's more strict rules? Is that putting fear in you? Is that stopping you, or are you one of those people that are like, hey, I don't care. It's not bothering me. I mean, I like I said, I know most millennials, they're like, yeah, we out. They got plans. They want to do their social media videos and take their pictures, and they go to Florida, Miami, L.A., New York, Chicago, all these places, New Orleans. Like nobody, I just don't see millennials. At least speaking for millennials, I don't see this really slowing down the train too much. So we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. With that being said, I'll be back with more soon. If you enjoyed this video, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell. And let me not forget, once again, for that person that said, the surprise look is getting old, let me not forget my Home Alone face.